Scotty scared the shit out of me. You have been with this man for all these years. Y'all engaged. Y'all about to get married. And the most exciting thing that you can say at the reunion is that y'all like the color coordinate when y'all go out dry. Think that I believe that Sandy and JR didn't do anything other than kiss. If you have to bring somebody on this show, have them have a fake marriage with somebody else just to see if they really like you, it's over. It's over before it started. Welcome to another episode of the That's Scary with Meloney P podcast. I'm your girl, Meloney P, and we're here to have a conversation. I know I'm a little bit late to the ultimatum of it all, but I watched the ultimatum. I watched the reunion, and let me tell you something. I have never been a fan of The Ultimatum. I've never invested time in watching the show, The Ultimatum, but this season was really good. I might actually go back and watch some of the previous seasons. It was really, really good. It was really interesting. I watched some of Jessie Woo's commentary on this show, which is what made me go and watch the show. I feel like they should give Jessie Woo the commentary of the reunion because I watched the reunion. I'm going to be talking about the reunion of it all. And I'm so tired of Nick Lachey and his wife up there with their somber voices. And it's just like one of the best reunions that I have ever watched was on Zeus Network when they had Saucy Santana as the reunion host. He asked the questions that people wanted to hear. He didn't give any kind of soft, delicate, whatever. He was really much asking the questions like why you do that and this, that, and the third. And I feel like that's the kind of energy we need when it comes to a reunion host, whether it be Zeus, Netflix, whatever, Bravo. It's always weird when they have the people who actually work with these people as the reunion host. Andy with Bravo, I think he's done a good job, but I feel like we would get a whole lot more out of these seasons if there was someone who didn't actually cut the check to the people who they are interviewing on these reunions. At any rate, there are a few couples that I was really, 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 really interested in the ultimatum. I had a few thoughts and opinions. So we had a few couples. We had Zanae, if I'm pronouncing that right, and JR. We had Nick and Sandy. We had Mariah and Caleb. And then we also had Scotty and Arya. And then we had Vanessa and Dave. Now, those are the couples that I was, interested in talking about. If it's somebody else, then they didn't have my interest. But I'm going to start with one of the most interesting couples, which was Zanae and JR. And I know I'm butchering her name, and I know y'all gonna put in the comments it is what it is. First, I'm gonna say Zanae, she is stunning. She is beautiful. I thought she was a very beautiful girl. And by her being as beautiful as she is, I was just so confused by the lack of self-confidence that she had and the how she let JR kind of make her look stupid. JR, very attractive guy. I'm not really here for the braids. How he talks, his personality, I didn't quite like, but visually, I can see why, women would like him. He's tall, he's thick, he's well groomed, so I get it. But what I didn't get is Zanae kind of crawling and running behind JR. She was giving not pretty girl energy because I feel like sometimes, if you're so desperate for a man because maybe you think he's out of your league, then you might give him a little bit more rope or a little bit too much grace because you feel like you'll never get another man like this. But if you look at JR and Zanae and you put them side by side, I feel like Zanae, I know I'm saying her name wrong. Ooh. Zanae, whatever. I feel like if you put those two together side by side, she is the one that's, up here with the looks, the personality, sex appeal, all that, compared to JR. JR is very manipulating. He was a gaslighter. I have just kind of come to terms with what that word really means. There's a lot of y'all out here gaslighting people on a day-to-day basis. But I thought that he was very good at gaslighting Zanae. But what I didn't like is that she was so aloof. To JR's defense, he was very transparent about, you love me way more than I love you. So that's all I need to hear. Like, he kept giving her the signs. He kept telling her over and over again that, hey, I like you and I may love you, but I don't love you the way you love me. And I feel like as a woman, it's like, if nothing else but your pride, that should have been all you needed to hear. The way this man spooned over Sandy, and I don't know how long this experiment was, but he talked about Sandy in a much better light, in a much more respectable manner than he talked about Zane. And I thought that was just very telling. And obviously they don't know what's going on during the season because they're actually living in it. But especially her to go back and watch how he, respected and swooned over Sandy, and how he didn't do the same for her. I'm glad that she did finally move on. When they showed the behind the scenes of what JR was really saying, he was gross. He was definitely there for the hall pass, like he said. He was there for probably fame. And he's the kind of guy that can easily manipulate a woman because he comes to you with that soft, slow talking, and it seems like he might really be invested, but he's just a pervert. I thought he was a pervert. For you to not understand that there's cameras everywhere, you're mic'd, people can bring this shit up. Like, he knew about all the other previous seasons and the people who was on the show, and he wanted to be more so like this person from the previous season. Like, he was gross. He was totally gross. And he said a couple of times that, he didn't really see himself having kids and really settling down till he was 40. And how old is he? He's 33 now. So at the end of the day, he didn't hide the fact that he wasn't a man who was ready for marriage. He didn't hide the fact that he wasn't even really ready for a relationship. He used his divorce as a crutch to say he's still healing over the divorce that was years ago. It was just really weird. I get what Zane was trying to do, but I feel like a lot of the things that Zane was saying at the reunion was too much. I feel like she kind of incriminated herself more than avenging herself. Having the receipts on her nail, that was cute. But at the end of the day, I really wish that after seeing this season play out on TV, she would have come to the reunion with more of an energy of unbothered, don't care, moved on. This is what he was. She didn't need closure. You don't need closure. The man gave you closure all throughout the season. He was closed off before the experiment even started. He was closed. It was never open. He was closed. You don't need no closure. One thing I've learned as well as a grown woman is that fuck closure. Nobody don't owe you closure. You have to pay attention to a person's actions, not what they say. What would him giving you closure? This man is a liar. He's a narcissist and he is a gaslighter. So what kind of closure were you expecting to have for him that would have actually done something for you? Women have to really put their big girl panties on and fuck closure. I see how you treating me. I see how you moving. I don't need no closure. It was nice knowing you. I'm young. I'm fine. I'm kid free. I got money. I got body. I got this. I got that. The world is my oyster. It was great knowing you. But he knew based off her actions and how she was putting up with shit, buying him shit for his birthday, all these things. He ain't stupid. He knew that he had her in the palm of his hand and he was going to play with her. And at the end of the day, you can't blame him because he didn't hide the shit. He was very much in her face and told her that he did not love her the way that she loved him. Moving on to Nick and Sandy. Unpopular opinion. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I actually like Nick. I like Nick. A lot of people did not like Nick. They thought he was crazy. They thought he was a psychopath. I like Nick. And here's the toxicity in me, child, because I like how he was crashing out about his woman, which is, again, toxic on my behalf. But seeing him cry, seeing him ball up in the fetal position and cry on that couch when he was thinking about Sandy with that big black man, I thought it was sweet. I thought it was romantic. I liked it. They were a weird couple. what were their age differences? So he was 38, she was 27, and that says a lot. I feel like he probably has money. Sandy gives me trophy wife, hypergamous energy, don't really want to work, want to find a rich man, keep it moving. If I had to guess, I would guess that is what their relationship hinged on. And I do think that Nick was probably, and he did kind of admit to it, he might have been very invested in giving her time and sensuality and emotional crap in the beginning, but then it kind of panned off after having her for a while and she was tired of it. She's very young. 27 is young and 38 is young. He's almost 40. She's just past 25. So at the end of the day, you know what it was like. She was with him for the money, and period, point blank. Now him crying and crashing out, that made me sad. I really wanted to know more about this abuse that Sandy alluded to. I don't feel like she went into it in detail. I think the other girl, what was her name? His person, Vanessa, that he had that ended up leaving, she kind of alluded to there being some type of imbalanced mental issue on Nick's side, but they really didn't go into details, and I don't like that. If Saucy Santana or Jessie Wu was there, they would have asked for the details, and Nick and Vanessa did not. New host. They don't belong together. They might get back together because I feel like if he has the money, but he's already moved on. He's moved on. He's happy. She's over there single. I do think that the visual of Sandy with a big black man is probably what made him crash out the most. You know, JR is a big black man with big muscles. You know, he was the field hen that the slave owners' wives would want. I mean, it is what it is. Like, that's just the truth of it. And it just put me in the sick mindset of like slavery, when you would have these big black men in the field sweating, and you would have these white slave owners' wives looking at them, lusting after them, that, and the third. That is what this gave to me. I think that if Sandy wasn't with a big black dick, he might not have spazzed out so much. I think just seeing that man walk around with that confidence, with his chest bulging out, all these things, that is really what made Nick spiral. I don't think that I believe that Sandy and JR didn't do anything other than kiss. I don't believe that. I believe that they did a little something and they just agreed not to tell the world. I don't see how there could be a way with JR, knowing what we know about him now and knowing about his horny tendencies, and then her feeling like she hadn't had any, like, you know, sexual or intimate stimulation from Nick, and she felt that she wasn't being seen by Nick. There's no way that they slept in that bed night after night after night and just simply kissed. I don't believe that, and it is what it is. I'm very happy that Nick has moved on to his next victim and Sandy's out here single. I will say that I was surprised that Sandy and JR hadn't reconnected, but it is what it is. Mariah and Caleb, they kind of bored me. Mariah bored me. Her face was just so boring. It was so boring. Ain't much about them. I felt like she was just very dry. I thought it was weird how Arya went for him, and we'll get into that a little bit more when we get to Arya and Scotty. But the only thing that I can say about them, the only two things I can say about them is that the dumb, stupid shit that she said about them color coordinating. You have been with this man for all these years. Y'all engaged. Y'all about to get married. And the most exciting thing that you can say at the reunion is that y'all like the color coordinate when y'all go out dry. This is mayonnaise, dry, paint. No, not a fan. She just seems very, very dry. And here's the thing. I do think that Caleb had a physical connection with Arya. with what's her name? Arya. I do think that Caleb had a physical connection with Arya. And the reason why I say that is because he was so adamant that he didn't have a physical connection with her. But the way that he interacted with Arya when they were together versus the way that he interacted with Mariah was very different. And Mariah's just very dry. They're going to live a dry life together and moving on. Now, Scotty and Arya. Where do I begin? One thing I will say is that Scotty scared the shit out of me. Scotty scared the shit out of me. Everybody was going in on about Nick being crazy. Scotty scared the shit out of me. He is one of those people who will love bomb you. He was the ultimate narcissist on this freaking show. It wasn't JR. It wasn't Nick. It was Scotty. With a name like Scotty, I just don't think that's his real name, to be honest with you. But he came off so suave, so emotionally available, wanting to get married, all these things. But as soon as he got with Zaria, and he got a little bit triggered, then he became a psycho asshole. And it's like, where was that hiding? And that was Zanae's energy. Like, well, where was this? Like, calm down, And that just gave us a peek of what Arya had been going through with Scotty. And he scared the shit out of me because he's one of those people who will show up as such a great suave person, and then that light switch will turn off and he will be a total fucking psycho. And that is why he scares me. At least with JR, you kind of know what you're gonna get a little bit if you're smart. Nick, Scotty was the real villain to me on this season. He scared the shit out of me. On the reunion, I wanted to say, Arya, run. And she did run. She ran. The crazy thing is that I feel like everybody was very surprised at the fact that she accepted his proposal. But thank God she said, never mind, within 24 hours. It was funny because she said yes. He was excited. I got you in my cage. I got you in my jail. I'm about to put you in my house. Great. Let me knock you up, trap you, put you in my jail cell and lock you up and destroy your life, destroy your young years. Yes, I won. Let's call our parents. And she was like, call our who? Tell people what? Never mind. And I'm glad that she did that. I'm glad that she came to her senses and said, I ain't calling nobody and telling nobody we engaged. This is a mistake. Let's pull it on back and let's get therapy. Now, red flag, he did not want to get therapy. And again, as a narcissist, it wouldn't have mattered if they had therapy or not. I have talked to a lot of therapists, my own as an example, and oftentimes a lot of therapists won't even see narcissists because they know that it won't be a conversation because they are the victim in their story, no matter what. A lot of therapists won't even see people who are narcissists because it's just a waste of their time, and it ends up getting, I don't want to say violent, but combative, and it's a waste of everybody's time. And to me, the fact that they had been together for so long, he was so gung-ho to get engaged to this lady. Why would you not want to see a therapist? Why would you want to rush into getting married and not see a therapist? That should be a red flag. She talked about her abortion. And that was so sad. Hearing Arya cry, I felt the pain in those tears. She cried a lot throughout the season, if I remember correctly. And she cried a lot on the reunion. And it wasn't one of those fake Sandy cries where you got to take that pinky and put it in the corner. She was crying from her soul. She was crying from her soul, and I felt it, and I felt so bad for her. And here's the thing that might not be a popular opinion, that, Lord, I say abortion, Jesus, that her losing that baby was a blessing in the skies. Her losing that baby, it's awful. It's awful. I'm sure it's painful. She lost her grandmother. She lost her baby. When I tell you the relief that I felt knowing that she lost that baby by this psychopath, it is a blessing in disguise. She may not see it now, but she will see it in the future when she's moved on. Could you imagine if she had a baby by Scotty, a psychopath? She would be forever, even if they didn't get married, she would be forever tied to this psychopath and he would be winning. People always say, the worst thing you can do is have to co-parent with a narcissist because they will make it hell for you. And I'm just grateful that God intervened and that baby situation was taken care of. I put down here, he's a narcissist. He's very dangerous. Period, point blank. Scotty to me looked like a psychopath. He had a psychopath energy. He had a psychopath haircut, a psychopath beard, a psychopath chin. Arya is stunning. Arya and Zanae are two beautiful, 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 beautiful women. Arya is stunning. She killed it at the reunion. She looked like a damn angel and she could do better. How old is she? She's 25. She has a whole life ahead of her. Scotty is 30. She's 25. Like, girl, this is just a chapter in your book. Hopefully she learns from it. I remember when Arya and Caleb met Arya's brother. And Arya's brother said that she seemed so much more at peace, so much like relaxed. She was joking. She felt like she was more in her authentic self when she was around Caleb, and that their father was a narcissist or had some kind of issues, and they saw that in Scotty. And the way that Arya acted around Scotty versus Caleb, it just gave her dad. And so at the end of the day, sometimes you attract your parents in other people. Sometimes you attract things in other people that you need to be healed from. Sometimes you attract things, whether it's people or things that are here to teach you a lesson. And again, I keep going back to the loss of the baby, but again, hopefully this was something that will teach her. But at 25, I'm praying and hoping that the experience that she had with Scotty just helps her to pick a better partner in the future. She has a whole life ahead of her. I will also say that I didn't like how she came for Caleb. Like, she had a lot of smoke for Caleb, you know, blocking her on Instagram, coming for them, being fake. What does it matter, girl? Like, I thought she had too much smoke for that. And then finally, the boring Vanessa and Dave who left. Here's the thing. The funniest thing to me of the whole entire reunion was when Dave was like, you know, Nick was like, why didn't you say goodbye? Like, you could have said goodbye. You know, you got up and left in the middle of the night. And Dave was like, she's only known you for 72 hours. Like, she don't owe you a goodbye. That shit was funny. It was funny because Dave knew that nobody really liked him that way. And he was grateful that he could kind of slither in, get Vanessa away from Nick and go back to their regular life. He still hadn't proposed to her. I don't know much about him. I thought he was kind of boring. I did not like how Vanessa came for Nick and threw him under the bus. I didn't like that. I just hate when they have misdirected, misguided smoke for the wrong people. I didn't like how, you know, if you're going to throw him under the bus, throw him all the way under the bus. But her alluding to the fact that he had abusive behavior and he was going out of control and all this stuff whenever she did the same thing when it came to Dave, didn't like that. Ugh, that's all I can say about them. I don't know. I actually enjoyed the Ultimatum. The premise behind this show, I don't quite get. Maybe if I watch other seasons, but to me, if you have to bring somebody on this show, have them have a fake marriage with somebody else just to see if they really like you, it's over. It's over before it started. Like, it's over before it started. The premise of the show to me, the section of the show where they switch and go back to their original people, I don't get it. Like, I kind of fast forwarded through all of that because it's just like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't want to have to give nobody no damn ultimatum. Like, if I have to give you an ultimatum to marry me, I don't want it. But I'm gonna keep it a bug. Have I been in that situation where I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? Maybe once in my life. Okay. But at the end of the day, these are very young people, so they're still learning and growing. But at the end of the day, if you got to give anybody an ultimatum, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Zan, Arya, y'all are too stunning to be giving these niggas an ultimatum. Well, yeah, ultimatum. Now, again, Scotty gave the ultimatum, but still, like, women have to learn, and I'm included, to listen to our intuitions. We have to learn to listen to our intuition. I really do feel like Arya had a strong intuition about Scotty, but Scotty's narcissistic ways was too powerful for her, and it became too much. It gave that Arya with her 25-year-old self was a people pleaser, and she didn't want to give up on Scotty. And she was just wanting Scotty to like be this person that he just could not be. He just could not be. At 25, at 30, one of the things that Mel Robbins said on her interview with Oprah is that most adults are just 8-year-olds in big bodies. And that's the truest shit that she has ever said, because the ability to be introspective, the ability to communicate healthily, the ability to take accountability is our skills and traits that a lot of adults do not have. Is it their fault? No, it is not, because a lot of people are, what am I trying to say here? You can be a result of how you were raised, trauma as a child, trauma as a teenager. There are a lot of factors that make people act and move the way that they do. But at the end of the day, such is life, and the way that you respond to it is up to you. Are you going to go get help? Are you going to go get therapy? Are you going to hold that mirror up to your face like I be saying all the time and be like, you know what? This area of my life, it ain't quite Aryan in, and let me fix this. Like, that is a skill. And when Mel Robbins said that, it made me think, like, I guess that is a skill. That has to be a skill, because the ability to be in a relationship and hold yourself accountable and look at the deficits that you might have, it may seem simple to a lot of us, but it's not that simple. And it's really nobody's fault, because if nobody ever taught you, or if you never saw an example of a healthy relationship, and even worse, if you saw an example of a toxic relationship, then that's all you know. So we're all starting at different points, and it's up to us if we go left, right, or jump off that cliff. And who are we taking with us when we go off that cliff? And Scotty was trying to take Arya with him off that cliff, but thank God she decided to go otherwise. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think about Netflix, The Ultimatum. I enjoyed it. I will try to go back and watch the other seasons. Let me know what you think. Make sure you hit that link in the bio, y'all. I actually was able to take one of my Nama energies, and this is really, really, really good. I'm going to have to buy this one. This has L-theanine, B12. Ooh, it's really, really good. Anyway, let me know what you think, y'all. Click that link in the bio. Get your Nama, get your money off. They deliver very quickly. And I will see you in the next episode.